Right. I don't want to hurt you. And sometimes I don't realize I'm hurting you because you don't explain that, not hurting, but just you're annoyed with a situation rather than just saying you're so annoying. And we don't want our children to pick up that language or ever call each other that. No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
A man who can master his emotions will outlast the man who only masters his money. Emotional intelligence is the difference between a great leader and a mediocre one. Quote by Ariana Huffington.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Parents Podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell. I'm your host, and I'm here with my co-host, my beautiful co-host, and beautiful wife and partner.
Can I say my name? Ildiko Ferenczi.
There you go. Ildiko Ferenczi.
Ildiko Ferenczi.
And we have another great podcast for you guys today. And today, we're talking about, you hear it, I'm sure you've heard it, if you, unless you've been hiding somewhere, you've heard it. People are talking about EQ, what it is. We want to talk about what it is and why it's so important.
We're talking about emotional fitness.
Well, emotional fitness specifically.
I know it's EQ, but right now, the trending
but
topic
a lot of people don't know what
is
EQ is.
Emotional fitness.
You get to emotional fitness, you got to know what EQ is.
Then you've
first.
been under a rock.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So in short,
but we love you anyway.
IQ measures how smart you are, but EQ often determines how well you connect with people, how good of a leader you are, if you'll succeed with your relationships. So it's important, and it's important and that's why it's perfect for us, because for entrepreneurs, it's important. For parents, it's super important. And if you want your marriage to last, it's really important.
Right, because building a business, that's going to test your marriage. And then on top of that, raising children will test your patience. And doing both at the same time requires more than hustle. It creates more than just physical strength and abs. That's not going to save your marriage. It's not going to raise your kids right. But what you require is emotional fitness. That's the EQ that we're talking about.
But I mean, we're in agreement, right? That you still have to you want to be in good shape.
Yeah, you can look fit on the outside, hit the gym.
The inside too.
That's important, but most important.
You want your kids, your family, you want to show them that you respect yourself. You want to show them that you're in good shape. So that's important. And we're not saying it's not important.
Yeah, no,
we're
not saying
that. Just as important, or maybe more important.
It's very important to have self-discipline, and that's a different topic. But I feel like when you have a great self-discipline, you have the discipline to go to the gym or work out at home. I know a lot of you are postpartum right now, and it's not time to work out yet. But when it is, there's so much you can do at home. Don't just avoid it. And then also, many of us are building those babies right now. So it takes self-discipline. You're not going to jump into the Dunkin' Donuts, because you're building a body inside of you through your body. So what you eat matters. So this is it's another topic, a different podcast.
I mean, discipline is important for EQ too, because you have to self-regulate, right?
You do.
A big part of EQ is because
that's right.
I'll tell you, I wasn't really concerned about EQ when I was younger.
But sometimes it just comes naturally.
Especially before I had kids, you know, I was sensitive. I'd throw a tantrum. I'd be mad. I'd have a temper. Okay, well,
we're working on it.
Okay, well,
we're working on it.
At least I recognize it. Okay, at least I recognize it.
And many of us will.
And that's
still
what I mean by
snap.
discipline. You have to. Today, I was very disciplined. I was very mad today, and I disciplined myself.
That's good.
And I calmed down, and I said, "Listen, this is what's bothering me." And I got real granular with you. And I just told you. I just told you what's bothering me. And
it's easier to communicate
younger Dan
that way.
would not have done that. Younger Dan would I would have thrown a tantrum. I would have yelled. I'd have thrown something to make a statement. I'd have thrown something. I'd have found something.
I don't even know what I would do. You can't do that in front of the kids.
No, but like in business.
But last week, so the truth is,
younger business Dan would have done the same thing, which wasn't good.
Sometimes Dan still snaps and blows up and storms out of the room. But I mean, these are things.
You just throw me under. Hold on, I'm sliding out from under the bus.
No, but these are things that a lot of people listening are struggling with. But it's important to not do this, especially when you are married, because she needs to be able to trust that the environment is safe. So that's where the EQ steps in, and you can catch yourself. And we're going to go over some tactics on what we can do. And also, of course, the kids, it's going to put them in a mood. I noticed that afterwards, the kids are they're more sensitive, aren't they? Right. And I think that you have the ability to notice that they are a little different, just from that little thing, because that never usually happens, but you can see the effect on what happens everyone, to me, to the kids.
You know where you see it? And you watch these crazy videos, and you see these kids that, unfortunately may have grown up without dads or whatever situation they're in, but they're bad kids, and I don't want to label themselves. Anyone as bad, but maybe they just don't understand how to regulate their feelings. Right, and that's the point, because they haven't seen it. But of course, people that don't understand that, because I like to step back and try to analyze. I'm not going to surround myself with those kind of people, but I don't want to judge either. But I definitely, especially as a mother, I mean, you notice it more on me than maybe yourself. You'll still surround yourself, not chosenly surround himself with, but for me, I have a firm boundary that I will absolutely not surround myself with certain people or my children with certain people. Whereas you're like, oh, I could go around these kind of people and be around these people. But I always point out, like, that's part what's the point if they don't? And this is the thing, guys. You have to be crystal clear, honest with yourself. Do they gossip? Do they? Are they talking about other people? Are they nice sometimes, but then they have addictions? Are they working out? Are they keeping care of their bodies? Is this EQ? What are we talking about?
It is, but I'm just saying that you're saying how it's. No, you have to be careful.
No, I'm saying that
you just have to be careful of your right.
They don't have the self-regulations. I'm just trying to show that you can see how this plays out and how it's going to play out in your own kids.
And you don't want to be around those kind of people. You need to guard your family and yourself.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is that if you don't self-regulate, that you will lay this in front of your kids. Your kids are going to become what they see.
Exactly.
And so you have to. This is why I'm just trying to say why it's so important.
As the immediate family, you have to be the one the best example, because it's going to spread into legacies. Right. It's going to spread down the line. That's how they're going to treat their husband or their wife and their children. So you have to be the one to break the chain and make the change today. So, we're doing a 2 a.m. podcast, just so you know. So when I'm finding myself for words, It's because it's 2 a.m. I love
Okay.
you guys. Thank you for your patience.
We said we were going to do it, so we commit.
Self-discipline. There you go.
So I say, so we broke it down into 5 areas, 5 things that EQ is really made up of. And that's self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, social skills, and why it matters. Why it matters, meaning why does EQ matter? So you can have that self-regulation and self-awareness, right? And I mean, obviously, self-awareness is kind of the first thing, the thing that awoke in me. You know, if you can't be aware of your own problem, you're never going to be able to fix it. Mm-hmm. And I think what I didn't have was I just didn't realize I had a problem. I thought, you know, when you're mad, you get mad. And I was mad, and I'd be like, why isn't this done? Why aren't we, you know, this is mostly in business, mostly at the office. And I'm like, I need this done. Find me somebody who can get this done. And, you know, sometimes that works. And I'm not saying that in business it's a little, I think it can be swallowed a little better and maybe needed almost in some.
Well,
sometimes.
You do know that fact about the research that has been done that shows 90% of top performers score high in EQ. Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today. So it's a necessary tool for business success.
Right.
Not just marriage.
But there's some high performers that are, you know, pretty emotional too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I've seen it.
I've seen, you know, or heard Elon get pretty intense with people.
Did you just call him out?
No, but I watched him fire somebody on a call one time. You know, it's like, right. You know, he's like, he don't mess around. He's not messing around. But you know, the truth is he was pretty regulated though too. Right. It wasn't like he was yelling at the guy.
And also it depends what this person did to trigger him.
Yeah.
And maybe he has to work on his trigger.
It wasn't much, but he's very, you know, you don't get to where you are, where he is without, you know, being pretty intense sometimes. I feel like
once you get married,
but in marriage,
things
though,
tone
it's like
down.
As a police officer.
Then later, with children,
get intense.
It's even different. It took you a while, but I think you're figuring it out eventually here.
Yeah, I went very zen today.
Yeah, you did.
I went
I'll
very
give
zen.
You that.
Okay.
And because
I wanted to be mad.
Here's the thing.
And I definitely wanted to kick or throw something. I was mad. I was real mad.
But you get mad so easy.
Because
so you
I
have
was
to
mad
not be mad so easy.
Because I had good reason. I was like, this needs, listen.
But is anything good reason to snap over?
It was good reason to me.
Of course.
But I wasn't going to snap. I was mad. I wanted to snap, but I didn't snap.
Right. But here's the thing. When you have that emotional EQ, you stop snapping because you realize that you need to start connecting in your marriage, because if you have the EQ, you understand that you're fighting together, not against each other.
Right. And that's exactly what I was thinking when I was about to.
It's like we're on the same page. We can fight against each other, but then it's not going to end well.
You said you're raising your voice.
I'll pack up and we're gone.
You said,
I don't know where we're going, but we're gone.
And I said, okay. And right there it hit me. My EQ kicked in, my better self kicked
Because
in
I want to
and
be
said,
a better
I want to
communicator.
communicate. Yeah, I want to communicate. I
think
want to
that's
get
a
this
challenge.
done. And I said, I need you to understand what's bothering me. This is the problem. And we had it. It was very clear, and I think it went well.
Right, because then I can understand what's bothering
I didn't have
you.
to
Because
yell
I
or
don't
throw anything.
Right, I don't want to hurt you, and sometimes I don't realize I'm hurting you because you don't explain that. Not hurting, but just you're annoyed with a situation, rather than just saying you're so annoying. And we don't want our children to pick up that language or ever call each other that. My brother and I, it's so healing to see Destiny and Daniel, because my brother and I, we never fought. And I would say that that was the biggest blessing from God, because nobody tells you, you don't know when your time is up. And I lost my brother just a few months after he graduated. But could you imagine if we were raised in a house that was filled with fighting and we fought all the time, and perhaps, say, for an example, I've heard this happen, and it is the saddest thing, that siblings were fighting and one of them, God forbid this ever happened to anyone, one of them passed away suddenly, like my brother. It was an industrial accident. He went to work. He never came home. And it was gruesome and it was awful, and it doesn't make sense. Out of pain comes purpose. I understand that. But could you imagine if we fought? I don't even know how it would rest. But the last time I saw my brother, I gave him a big hug, felt great. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. That was our last words. And I don't know what I would do if my children were brought up differently too. So for me, it's so important to have that peace in the house. I've had several people in my life go suddenly. And it's not that you're lucky if you have an idea of, okay, someone's sick and they're going slowly and I can say goodbye to them. I feel like that's somewhat of a blessing. But those suddenlies, it really, really affects. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it is so important on how you treat each other, especially if you love that person. The one thing, I know you hear it all the time when Daniel and Destiny are starting to, they have their own feelings. They have their own little bodies, their own little emotions. But what I remind them, and we've been over this, is, Destiny, do you love Daniel? Yes.
Yeah,
Daniel, do you love Destiny?
We did.
Yes.
We played that today.
And then it just, from there, it unravels in a beautiful way. And I think as adults,
as mad as
we
they wanna
need
be.
to know that too. It's, do you love me? Because I love you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to go against you. I'm not trying to purposely annoy you. So these are tactics
like
that you
are
can.
sometimes.
No, and I'm not trying to. I'm just.
I know.
We all have our own little quirks and our own little ticks and weird things that we do, and it's trying to live the best life that we can together.
So what was it? I saw something in your notes about cooling off, and I didn't. It said something about like 8 seconds. And I was like,
8 seconds. No, hold on.
Like,
Let
I
me
was like,
pull
that
it
don't
down.
make no
I wrote
sense.
it down. But it's this breath. Oh yeah, we were kind of we almost started arguing about it, didn't we?
That's 8.
Because
Come
Dan's
on
like,
now.
no,
Are
I
you
gotta
serious?
leave. I gotta leave for a month and then I'll be back.
Are you kidding? That's right. I just like
No. Here it
sometimes
is.
You just need a minute.
So here it is. Here's my tactic.
20 minutes or something.
Here's my tactic, and this is because we're moms, and moms, you know this, okay? So we can't just grab our bags and leave the house. We got babies. This is after kids.
I'm not saying we have to leave the house.
If you're pre-kids, if you have an agreement. For me, I don't like that whole I'm out of here. Like, that hurts me. I grew up in a single home. Okay. So that stuff, it triggers me. I'm a little bit of I've got a little bit of an attachment. You're more of you're the bad one.
Do you remember when we were at my place at the beach and I tried to leave and you wouldn't let me leave?
Yeah, it triggered something in me. I've never had someone try to walk out on me ever. And the only person that did was my dad. And he wasn't mean. He just said, I'll be back. Or I can't, I was younger than Destiny. But, you know, I'll be back. I thought he sounded like it was going to be normal again, but it wasn't. And then eventually he got remarried. And then eventually he had his new biblical, you know, covenant of marriage. And it was just something that I had to understand. So for me, it's triggering when someone walks out. And now, married with children, it's even more triggering.
Well, I think at that time, I didn't know you were that's the thing. That's why you got to know your partner.
Well, you're an anxious avoidant, and then I'm an anxious attached.
Avoidant. I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue.
You are, and there's nothing wrong with it, you guys.
You know what it was?
It's just you have to, if you understand the attachment styles, it doesn't mean that anybody's bad, but once you understand it, you're going to understand how to communicate better in a relationship. It's not pointing out anything. I mean, do you think I want to be called?
That I was mad. Anxious? I was really mad, and I didn't want to yell, and I just wanted to go outside in the fresh air and walk around for a minute.
Right,
and then I would come back.
But let's be very clear.
Here's my thing: is I wasn't clear. I didn't say I want to go walk around for 20 minutes and I'll be back. I said, I'm out of here. I said I'm out of here
with some swears, which we don't do anymore, and then a little bit of
right. And I guess I was
loud tone, which is scary.
I wasn't in the right. And I just thought I thought I was in the right because I wanted some time to cool down. I knew I was mad. I knew I was going to say things I didn't mean. And I wanted to get out and just walk around for 20 minutes and come back and to say,
which would be fine.
Let's fix this.
Now we know we can talk about and understand that you will be back. But
now I just want to go sit in my room and go. I just want to talk to myself for 15 minutes and go.
For me,
did she just say that? Am I serious? I can't believe. What am I doing? Like, what's going on? What? How do we fix this?
Yeah,
you know?
For me, I
talk
like
to myself
an apology.
for 20 minutes and then I go back in there and we fix it.
I like to apologize right away, and I like an apology as soon as possible. Like, I just want to fix it because what's the point of holding on to this resentment? You're so hard to make apologize. And our kids know that too. I'm like, let's never be like Daddy.
Because sometimes you'll ask me like, you know, are you going to apologize first? And I'm like,
because you said some horrific things.
Like, what did I do?
We're working on this.
Didn't you do something? And now...
But I am
I'm the
sorry.
one apologizing.
When I do stuff,
how does this work?
It's okay for me to say sorry. But for me, the whole silent treatment, it's so painful because it's like
I don't give you the silent treatment.
Stonewalling.
I don't stonewall.
You do.
What, like when? When have I stonewalled? That's not my MO for sure.
Yes,
Stonewall
it
is not my MO.
Stonewalling is when you walk away or you'll ignore.
Listen, I need a minute. Because what you just said, I can't even talk to you about right now because I'm so mad I can't even see straight, and I like that makes no sense to me. But you'll ignore me,
and I don't like that. And then
I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm trying to tell you I need 20 minutes.
That's fine. 20 minutes is fine, but hours and going to sleep fighting. I'm just starting to learn to live with it, but it's hard for me.
Well, then let's not argue.
Because I don't like it.
5 minutes before we go to bed.
I don't plan.
I don't want to go to bed.
I don't plan on it.
I don't want to go to bed.
But
I just don't want to. So let's not get in an argument before we go to bed.
I know, but I don't know why. Well, maybe that's why you're. But I just But
how long
what do your notes say?
What do your notes say about how long you're? Because this is
changing the subject.
Yeah, because I didn't agree. It says something like
no, but
like 8 seconds or
No.
something. Like you get 8 seconds
it's
to
the
get
pause.
over it.
Oh,
Now get back over here. Let's go.
No.
Yeah, that's what it says. What does it say?
Okay. So it's the pause and pray. This is a technique that I use. It's not 8 seconds, but it's 60 seconds.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
To calm the stress
any
response.
dude on the planet knows right now that 60 seconds is not going to cut it.
Right. But as a mother, you have no choice. And sometimes things trigger you, but you have to
How do you
just
have no choice?
catch yourself. No, because if the husband's not around and something triggers you, you can't lose your cool. You got babies, bro. You got babies. Like, as moms, we're
You
masters
talking about
at
if the
this.
kids trigger you?
No, if something you do triggers me and I can't react
Well,
in front of the kids like you sometimes
Well, I'm
do and
talking
scare
about-
the poop out of
No,
them.
what I'm talking about is you have 60. You can say, hey,
You can take longer. I'm just saying.
I can go to the other
I'm
side of the
saying
house
maybe
for 20 minutes.
Maybe
It's a big house.
No, but
We'll go over there. I'll go on that side of the house.
I'm
you go on this side of the house.
No, but
and we'll
I'm
meet back up. I'll say, hey, let's meet back up here
Dan.
at the school bell. Let's take care of this thing.
Stop. But for me, I've become really good at this. Not pre-kids, but children. Here, baby, let's just
Really
lay
good
on
at
me.
making me mad, or really good
Oh my
at.
gosh, stop. I got this baby in my lap. See? Like, my voice is different because Destiny just came in
I
here.
know you can't be mad
So
at
we're
me. It's the
regulating
best.
now.
It's best. It's the best. Oh,
So
you have
this
to be
is the
so
mom
nice. You have
that-
to be nice.
Of course. So this is the thing that moms have to do because you can literally feel your baby tense up. Right now, she's got her little feet.
I want to hold her.
She's just cuddled up like a little kitty cat in my lap. Her head
out.
is on my heart. So we're always aware of this. Your heart has to stay at a certain, like, kids, they just can tell. So this is the 60-second. It's probably not going to work for the dads, but
60
for moms,
minutes, maybe.
60 seconds. Say a little prayer. I promise. And I can do it so much faster than 60 seconds because when you say that prayer, it's like you're just covered. And it's like, you know what? This doesn't matter. Look at this blessing that I have in my lap. Look at this blessing that I have watching me react to the situation that's going on. How can I handle this the best way? God, just take my body, take my words, and just work through me because I trust you, and I just, whatever it is, I'm just throwing what I would do in the moment, whatever the situation. Just take over my body, take over my voice, take over my heart, and just run the show for me. Please take the wheel. And it's just a pause and prayer. And you should be able to get through this in 60 seconds. I could do it a lot faster. And I think the perfect example is with Destiny. She crawled in here. She probably heard us, but she's so tired. And that's the thing. Little kids, they hear things when it's a little bit off. We're kind of joking around about it, but children will come. She's always the one. She's the one when you get snappy. She's standing in front of you, kicking you right in the...
Daddy,
right
better
in
be
the
nice
jewels.
to mommy.
And I taught her how to do
like,
the
I'm
big
not mad at
roundhouse
mommy.
kick.
I'm not mad at
Oh,
mommy,
she's
but
so,
she's,
and Daniel too, of course. And that's just the way children are. And that's it. Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. But we don't want them to step in. Now, number 2 is name it. Say it. Say it out loud. Even if you're alone at home with the babies, just say it out loud. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Say whatever it is that you're feeling. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling triggered. It cuts emotional intensity
this is a girl
up
thing for sure.
by 50%. But whatever, just say it. Just try it for you. For me, I do. When I start to get grumpy, my grumpy is after 7 p.m. I know I'm starting to get super overstimulated.
I was going to say after 7 a.m.
No, after 7 p.m.
Your grumpy starts at 7 a.m. Like 7 to 7 is probably a good...
No, I'm never grumpy. Stop. We can interview the kids next week, and they'll tell you.
They'll definitely say they're going to side on your side
kids
for
say
sure.
the darnest things, and they're so on.
Let's not do that.
Okay, But anyway, so just name it. Say it. It's supposed to, for me anyway, this really does work for me. And then it also gives me a way to tell the children, I'm feeling super overstimulated. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at daddy. I'm frustrated with daddy. I hope I'm not taking it out on you.
Do we have to use daddy? Can we say the lady at the grocery store?
It's an example. Now everybody out there is nice. Okay, and then tag team. As spouses, decide who handles what when chaos is. So that would be me. When you're grumpy, I take over. I think the other day, Destiny goes, she goes, just go downstairs, Daddy. That was so funny. And it can help
why am I going to sound like the total bad guy in this
Because he's still
podcast?
figuring it. You're not the bad guy.
No, that's what I'm going to sound like, the bad guy.
People can relate. And it's...
I know there's going to be somebody who leaves a comment. Some lady that leaves a comment
God bless
leave
everyone's...
that guy. Leave him. You deserve better. You deserve better.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my
See, I'm not that
God.
bad. Honestly, I'm not.
But sometimes people do say, I remember Destiny did say that one time, why don't we just leave Daddy? Just marry someone else. I'm like, where do you even get this stuff? Do you see? But do you see how
Obviously, listen to your social media.
No, because you let her watch that Parent Trap show. So that's how she found out about divorce and how you can go be with someone else. And then I had to have the talk with her that's not
they
God's
ended up
way.
Back where they were.
Right. That's exactly what I explained to her is that, they separated and they left each other because they were dealing with stuff, but they didn't know how to properly communicate. They didn't know how to properly love each other. But in the end, it turned out that they loved each other more than anybody else in the world, and they never should have separated because they ended up back together anyway. So just also...
So the moral of the story is...
You can work this stuff
work
out.
it out.
So, yes. So...
Work it out. Figure it out.
So do that tag team. Now, the tag team was what spouse, if somebody's going through something, then take over for the other one. Repair quickly. This is so important. This is, for me, it is so important. But this is actually suggested by therapists is to always repair quickly. Kids learn more from watching you reconcile than from hearing you argue. So please just do what you can. Read the books. Well, maybe we'll include some books that you guys can listen to, and we can talk about this. We can have an actual repair podcast because I think that this is such a great and important topic. But whatever it is, your spouse the best. Does he? How can you guys repair as quickly as possible? Because your children are going to be taking notes. And then number 5, this is daily reps: journaling, prayer, reflection, a therapist call. This is emotional hygiene. Let's just call it that. It's as essential as brushing your teeth. So whatever helps you be your best person. For me personally, it's prayer. For me, gratitude. There's so much that we're facing right now, and you probably wouldn't know by looking at us, just like other people, just like you guys. But there's things that ground you, and there's things that make you your best, even though you're going through things, because life will definitely bring things your way. And I think that those are really great starters and tactical tools that you can implement today, right now.
Emotional fitness.
Yeah, and that's the emotional fitness.
I
know that our culture celebrates the abs and all that stuff, and as we were saying before, don't stop the physical fitness and looking your best, because your children also need to see that. They need to see that you haven't let go. and that you
that you
are
take care of
striving,
yourself, that you take care of your health,
and that you're eating your best, and that because they're going to take on those traits too. But most importantly, if you can get your emotional fitness up to date, you're going to be so much stronger. And it's going to be such a beautiful legacy that you leave behind. You want your children to just remember
the tools.
How are your children going to remember you? And this is a beautiful thing about, for example, Charlie. He again is another example of we don't know when that time clock is going to run out. Do you think that he planned on not coming home to his wife and his children? But every day they together made I got goosebumps because that was horrible. They made it very intentional on how they were going to run their marriage and how they were going to raise their children. And I think that we all of us have to be very intentional about the legacy that we leave behind. How do you want your children to remember you? Do you want them to remember you as the grumpy guy or mom that would snap all the time and yell at the kids and say, because I said so? Not have a conversation of, listen, I love you so much and I care about you so much that if you do it this way, you really are going to live your best life. But if you do it this way, these things can happen. Or if your children are older, just really explain it. No, it's not that I don't want you to have fun. It's that this can happen or that can happen. Just really have a conversation with your children, because the conversations that you have with your children and your spouse. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, while your children are young, if you can get them into the habit of having intelligent conversations to understand why they should or shouldn't be doing something, don't just say eat your vegetables. Why is it? Well, because someone in your family got very sick and didn't make it because they didn't live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
They reached for the things that felt good to the flesh, but there is self-discipline, and self-discipline may feel hard, but in the end, it is what's best for you in every way. And that is in marriage, it's in health, like your gym life, in the way that you eat, the way that you nourish your relationship, and the way that you nourish your children and your family. And I think that about wraps it up for today. Girls.
That type of clear, kind communication, builds trust between you and your kids and you and your wife. And it's important. And I think I tend to use usually the first three: self-awareness, self-regulation, and empathy. If I can remember those three things in my head, if they come to you and I go, I want to have a good conversation here. I want to be productive. I want to get something done. Yeah, and if we both end up heated, and we know that's going to go nowhere, except for we're both going to be frustrated.
If we go against each other, our children will go against each other. And then they're going to go against each other in their marriage. And then they're not going to be able to raise their family right. So it's a lot scarier, and it needs to be scarier than just, oh, I need to be right, or he needs to be right, or she needs to be right. Be the first one to apologize. I mean, that's the one thing my mom raised me with, is that when you apologize, when you're wrong, admitting that you're wrong, and it's so hard in this generation. I don't know what it is about this generation that finds it so hard to admit that you were wrong. You were wrong. I feel like once you start reading the Bible and you come back to your faith, it makes it easier to say, look, you know what? I think I was wrong about this. I was wrong about so many things in my life, and I see it now so clearly that I made so many wrong decisions. And at the time, I didn't think so. At the time, I thought I was smarter than everyone. And now when I analyze certain things in my life, I see that I'm a different person. And I love that. I love that about me. And I love that about my children, that they're able to say, you know what, maybe I didn't make the right decision. Maybe I should have done it this way. And encourage your family, encourage your spouse, encourage the children to say, listen, it didn't work out very well. What could we have done different? Encourage those conversations. It's how you create great leaders and great conversationalists and great debaters. So this week, when stress rises, because I promise it will, don't aim for perfection. Aim for one of those emotional reps. Pause, pray, speak life instead of snapping, and then watch what changes in your marriage, what changes with your children, what changes in your family.
Yeah, this is important stuff, guys. I think that
it's just bringing awareness
because
nobody's wrong.
It's the foundation of your relationship, and if you don't learn these tools, your relationship is going to suffer if you don't. It's just going to, and you're not going to give the tools to your kids. You're not going to pass those tools along to your children so that they will have good relationships. And I know that this apologizing thing, I know it's right. I know it's true. And I feel it when I'm not good at it. And I think men have a problem with it because we're carrying the burden of.
It doesn't mean you're a bad person, though. It means you're a great person when you can.
For sure. And that's what we need to realize.
Don't think you're a bad person.
Especially here's the thing. In business, we're usually really good at it. If you're a good leader, you're usually really good at it. There's a problem, though, when you get with your family that you see yourself as this person who's expected to lead, who's expected to protect. And when you make a bad decision and you admit to it, you feel like, as a man, you feel like you're saying, "Oh, I let you down. I didn't protect you.
Yeah, but I don't see it that way.
I didn't do my duty.
I'm European.
I'm not. I did.
Have you ever been in a European house?
Well,
have you ever heard the passion? And then sometimes you're crying and the passion, and you talk through it, and it's just the emotions go. But the emotions can't stay there. Like in a European home, I feel like you're allowed. I feel there's a lot of tiptoeing around and a lot of secrets and can't say this, can't do that. In a lot of American households, this is just what I've noticed. But I feel like in the European households, you're free to just be so honest and get through it together, and it's not offensive in any way. You could just say it and then you work through it and then it's over and then you're hugging and singing and dancing, and it's just, I don't know, be Italian, be Hungarian, be European for a minute. Like, just explore that. Just like be able to freely say what's on your heart, not in a mean way, but in an honest way, and just understand this person loves me so much that they're being honest with me. I don't even want friends that just clap and laugh and you know, the Sopranos, the mobster way, where they just, yeah, exactly. Call me out when I'm wrong. Call me on where I can do better. And you do it with love. That's the best. It's the best. There's nothing better than that. So keep building the business, keep going to the gym, and above all, train your heart, because the most powerful legacy that you can leave isn't what you achieve, it's how you love. And remember, God is love. So just bring that into the arguments. Just think of the Europeans. They argue so well. They do.
Remember, and have self-awareness, self-regulation, and empathy.
Yes.
And you guys will get through it. And a little tip, hey, if you guys really start to argue, if you guys are in an argument, try holding hands. Yeah. It's really hard to argue when you guys are holding hands. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Entrepreneur Parent Podcast. I hope you got something from this today. This is important stuff. And if you got something and you think it might be able to help somebody else, a friend of yours, or another couple that you know who's maybe going through the same stuff, share it with them.
Yeah, share it with them. And when they hear it, you're going to know how much you love and care about them. And that's a great feeling. We love you, friends. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of the community. And if you're new, welcome. We love you.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you for joining us this week at the Entrepreneur Parents Podcast. You know how important this lesson is about EQ. I want you to try it and make some changes today. We really hope you got some golden nuggets from this show. If you did, share it with someone you love, your friends, your family, and be sure to like and subscribe so it helps this message get to people who need it. And I'm gonna leave a shameless plug here. If you have kids, I want to personally invite you to the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show. It's a top 10 podcast for kids like us that are gonna change the future and make heaven crowded, of course. God bless. See you next week. Thank you for listening to this week of the Entrepreneur Parents Podcast. I know you got something special from this episode. Share it with someone you love. Oh, and friends, if you have children, I need to invite you to listen to the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show. It's for courageous kids and tomorrow leaders. Let's make heaven crowded. God bless. Have a great week.